Everybody thinks that culling coyotes is hard. It's not, but you better know what to do when one comes in. So if you look at that picture, there's 3 devices there. There's a mouse squeaker and 2 coyote hand calls, and I'm going to go over those in just a minute. This is a Most mouse squeaker. It's flat on one side. You can put it in your pocket when you're out calling. Let's say you got a coyote coming in and he's holding up. You just reach up there. So there are 2 basic types of hand calls. There's a closed reed call. There's a reed in there, but you can't see it because there's a body around it. And an open reed call. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. Let's start off with the closed reed call. This is a Dan Thompson PC3. It imitates a baby cottontail in distress. Okay, here's an open reed call, critter getter. I've had this in a long time, and they still sell them, and any commercial one will be just fine. You have the reed there. I put a rubber band here just to hold that reed down a little bit, but let's just hear what it sounds like. So usually nowadays when I go out, I will use an electronic collar 95% of the time, but I always take this open reed call. Scot Ewing gave this to me a long time ago. It's custom made. I don't know what he spent for it, probably too much, but let's hear what it sounds like. Well, y'all saw the hand call demonstration I did, and I mentioned electronic collar is really a great thing to have. I'm going to make a whole separate video on e-collars, how to use them, the idea of them. I've owned several. I like Icotec. Several, and the reason I like the Icotec the best is the range of their handheld. My neighbor's got one, and my cousin have got one, and we've measured over 400 yards. It works. I'll just leave it at that. It's valuable when you're in the field to work the wind and to give you space. Whatever you get, make sure you get one with a remote control lure, and you'll see here in a minute why. When that old coyote comes in, you want him focused on that lure, not on you. That lure is something you really want on whatever electronic collar you get. When that old coyote comes busting in, you don't want him looking at you. You want him looking at that. And they're curious animals, and that right there is enough to hold their attention. That extra 2 or 3 seconds for you to put those crosshairs exactly where they need to be. All right, well, let's talk about guns for just a minute. Rifles. My very favorite caliber that I use, it's no secret, is the 204 Ruger. It does everything that the 22-250 does. Maybe a little faster, maybe a little flatter, definitely less recoil and noise. I like it. So look at some of my other videos. There's quite a bit I've done here with the 204 Ruger. Make up your own mind. It is pretty easy on pelts, that's for sure. Almost more important than the rifle, though, I think, is scope. You don't need a big, powerful, high-dollar, great scope. Most people, in my opinion, especially starting out, would do just fine with a 3x9 power. What often happens is the coyote sneaks in where you don't expect him to be. He's a lot closer starting off than what you thought he would be, because they don't do what you expect every time. And you wish you had a lower variable. That. At any rate, I think 3x9 is a really good choice for scope. Whatever rifle you use, get something that's light, that you can carry easy handles easily, and above all else, practice with it. Get your good load, find out what works, do your research, and become proficient with it. You owe it to the coyotes. once you got him coming in, you better be ready when he gets there. A man taught me that. About where to stand, I mean. Not where to put the call, where to put yourself. This is a picture of a dry creek bed that my friend Doc and I hunted on a ranch in the Flint Hills several times. We usually had pretty good luck there, and I wanted to set up on the high ground because you could see for a long ways there, and I figured I'd spot any coyote coming in from up there. Doc said, no, we better go down by the creek. He's going to come out of that creek. And I thought he was crazy. But he was right. The coyote came in at about 80 yards. We never would have seen him from up top there. There's too much brush and it was too steep of banks to be able to see it. Doc knew that. He'd hunted that ground for 20 years before I ever set foot on it. That's the thing about coyote hunting. Everybody wants to talk about the call on the rifle. Nobody wants to talk about where you're standing. By the way, I took this picture. You can see the X up by that little tree where I wanted to set up, and the red X down at the bottom is where the coyote actually come up. The picture was taken from where he was shot from. Hey everybody, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button before Misty eats me out of house at home. That man who taught me so much, Scot Ewing, his nickname was Doc, was a friend and mentor to me. I met Scot at a gun show and we hit it off and just really became friends. Scot was about 18 or 20 years older than I was. He had an interesting background. He was a fireman for 35 years. Just an all-around great guy. Was a bench rest shooter in his past life and really liked to hunt coyotes. Had moved to the area and didn't really know anybody, and we just took up, and the rest is history. We hunted together for years. Scot was a lot of things. The one thing he really was patience. He taught me to look at coyote hunting kind of as a chess game, and showed me how to move the pieces, what the strategies were, and then went out there and got up early and went out in the cold days with me, and we had a lot of success, and I owe a lot to Scot. Sadly, he passed away last year, and I miss him. He was really a good friend and a good guy. He just taught me so much about reloading and shooting, coyote hunting, and really life. And I won't go into that here, but I can just say he was a wise man, and I was really lucky to know his acquaintance. Scot knew all the nooks and crannies of the areas that we hunted, taught me to be patient and what the important things in the sport really are.